Thank you very much for this introduction and for inviting me to address the very distinguished audience about what we've done in the electricity sector during the last 4 years. And it might be difficult to try to squeeze what has been done in 4 years to give it in 20 or 25 minutes, but I tried my best to do that. Actually, I put the address for the speech about the energy transition in Egypt, because actually Egypt faces now a major transformation in the energy sector. Let me remind you with what was happening before. I remember in 2014, there was a big problem happening in Egypt. It did not start in 2014, but I was checking the roots for that, and it goes back to perhaps 2008, where there was a lot of power cuts, but nobody was feeling it in the big cities like Cairo, like Alexandria, this sort of things, but many people were suffering from this, perhaps in Upper Egypt. Actually, when I took this position as the Minister of Electricity, I think the first thing that President Sisi told me that, look, electricity is a matter of national security. We have to solve this. I was even giving some time, but said, no, next year it has to be solved completely. Let me tell you, actually, because of the support, the political support of President Sisi himself, and his insistence that he should get rid of this, the success which we are getting it now actually is mainly, one of the major reasons for it was the political will behind it, and the support came from him personally. I used to have a meeting with him every other week. Never happened that the president sees the Minister of Electricity every other week. But he was actually really following this closely, and he wants to make sure that things happening in the right way. Actually, I show you actually here, this histogram gives you an idea about what was the situation. The red columns, small columns here is the load shedding happening. We used to load shed daily between 2,500 to 3,000 megawatt. And then one day, during summer of 2014, we had to load shedding reaching about 6,000 megawatt. People were suffering to a great extent from that. But thanks God, because we took, as I'm going to tell you, accelerated plan by which actually starting from June 2015, there was no single megawatt load shedding starting from that date. We came in office on March or April 2014, and we took this year actually to do that. Of course, the success of this is not because of the Minister of Electricity or the Minister himself, but there was a lot of cooperation with everybody, even from the companies who were actually supporting us and did a complete excellent job in a very short time, like I'm going to show now. We started with what we call a fast-track plan, by which we could manage to introduce in the network 3,636 megawatt in 8.5 months' time. This is a job worth about $27 billion. Of course, some of the audience here were participating in this. I know that we were approaching all of the big companies like GE, like Siemens, like Ansaldo, like MHI, and all these things, but we have a support coming from them, and they really did, in my opinion, a wonderful job. Together with the local contractors who were supporting them for that. As I said, 8.5 months, we could manage to induce this amount of power. Definitely, it's not only the introduction of the power generation, but we have to do a lot of other things. But definitely, starting, as I said, from June 2015, there was no single power cut because of shortage of electricity. I must as well here recognize the great job done by the Ministry of Petroleum, because petroleum, the Ministry of Petroleum at that time was His Excellency Mr. Sharif Ismail, the Prime Minister after that, and he was actually, we have daily communication at least 2 or 3 times in order to secure that and coordinate between the supply of fuel, and without the fuel, we could not have done anything at all. So I always say that it's a 50-50. When coming between both the Ministry of Electricity and the Ministry of Petroleum. And at the same time, there was some other power station under construction, and it was very delayed, so we made sure that it has to be completed in a very short time.